Hello, hello, it's Love for Reborns. Guess what time it is? It's story time with the babies. Here they all are. So starting over here, we have Jackson, Carter, Zachary, Jacob, Ryan, Jason, Caleb, Andrew, and Mackenzie. Then we have Madison and Nathaniel, Kyle, and Kylie. So the first book we are going to read is I Love You Forever. Such a sweet book, guys. All right, let me get to the page here. All right. A mother held her new baby and very slowly rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she held him, she sang, I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be. Very cute. The baby grew and he grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was 2 years old. And he ran all around the house. He pulled all the books off the shelves. He pulled all the food out of the refrigerator. And he took his mother's watch and flushed it down the toilet. Sometimes his mother would say, the kid is driving me crazy. Too cute. This book gets me emotional sometimes. But at nighttime, when that 2-year-old was quiet, she opened the door to his room, crawled across the floor, looked up over the side of his bed, and if he was really asleep, she picked him up and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she rocked him, she sang, I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always, as long as I'm living, my baby you'll be. And there's that. The little boy grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was 9 years old. And he never wanted to come in for dinner. He never wanted to take a bath. And when Grandma visited, he always said bad words. Sometimes his mother wanted to sell him to the zoo. But at night time when he was asleep, the mother quietly opened the door to his room, crawled across the floor, and looked up over the side of the bed. If he was really asleep, she'd pick up that 9-year-old boy and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she rocked him, she sang, I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be. Oh, let me show you the picture. The boy grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was a teenager. He had strange friends and he wore strange clothes. And he listened to strange music. Sometimes his mother felt like she was in a zoo. Sometimes I feel like that way too. But at nighttime, when that teenager was asleep, the mother opened the door to his room, crawled across the floor, and looked up over the side of the bed. If he really was asleep, she'd pick up that great big boy and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. While she rocked him, she sang, I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always, as long as I'm living, my baby you'll be. That teenager grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was a grown-up man. He left home and got a house across town. But sometimes on dark nights, the mother got into her car and drove across town. If all the lights in her son's house were out, she'd open his bedroom window, crawled across the floor, and looked up over the side of his bed. If that great big man was really asleep, she'd picked him up and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she rocked him, she sang, "I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always, as long as I'm living, my baby you'll be." Well, that mother, she got older. She got older and older and older. One day she called up her son and said, "You'd better come see me because I'm very old and sick." So her son came to see her. When he came in the door, she tried to sing the song. She sang, "I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always." But she couldn't finish because she was just too old and sick. Aw, it makes me sad. I'm getting emotional over here. The son went to his mother. He picked her up and rocked her back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And he sang this song, "I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always, as long as I'm living, my mommy he'll be." Aww. I always get emotional with this book. When the son came home that night, he stood for a long time at the top of the stairs. Then he went into the room where his very own new baby daughter was sleeping. He picked her up in his arms and very slowly rocked her back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while he rocked her, he sang, "I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always, as long as I'm living, my baby he'll be." Isn't that nice, guys? The end. So that one was "Love You Forever." Next, we have The Kissing Hand by Audrey Penn. The Kissing Hand. Chester Raccoon stood at the edge of the forest and cried. "I don't want to go to school," he told his mother. "I want to stay home with you. I want to play with my friends, and play with my toys, and read my books, and swing on my swing. Please may I stay home with you?" Miss Raccoon took Chester by the hand and nuzzled him on the ear. "Sometimes we all have to do things we don't want to do," she told him gently, "even if they seem strange and scary at first. But you but you will love school once you start." "You'll make new friends and play with new toys, read new books, and swing on new swings. Besides," she added, "I know a wonderful secret that will make your nights at school seem as warm and cozy as your days at home." Chester wiped away his tears and looked interested. "A secret? What kind of secret?" "A very old secret," said Miss Raccoon. "I learned it from my mother, and she learned it from hers. It's called the Kissing Hand." "The Kissing Hand?" asked Chester. "What's that?" "I'll show you." Miss Raccoon took Chester's left hand and spread open his tiny fingers into a fan. Leaning forward, she kissed Chester right in the middle of his palm. Chester felt his mother's kiss rush from his hand, up his arm, and into his heart. Even his silky black mask tingled with a special warmth. Aww. Miss Raccoon smiled. "Now," she told Chester, "whenever you feel lonely and need a little loving from home, just press your hand to your cheek and think, Mommy loves you, Mommy loves you. And that and that very kiss will jump to your face and fill you with toasty, warm thoughts. So adorable. She took Chester's hand and carefully wrapped his fingers around the kiss. Now, do be careful not to lose it, she teased him. But don't worry, when you open your hand and wash your food, I promise the kiss will stick. Chester loved his kissing hand. Now he knew his mother's love would go with him wherever he went, even to school. That night, Chester stood in front of his school and looked thoughtful. Suddenly, he turned to his mother and grinned. Give me your hand, he told her. Chester took his mother's hand in his own and unfolded her large familiar fingers into a fan. Next, he leaned forward and kissed the center of her hand. Now you have a kissing hand too, he told her, and with a gentle goodbye and I love you, Chester turned and danced away. My throat's getting dry, guys. Miss Raccoon watched Chester scamper across the tree limb and enter school, and as the hoot owl rang in the new school year, she pressed her left hand to her cheek and smiled. The warmth of Chester's kiss filled her heart with special words. Chester loves you, it sang. Chester loves you. Aww. The end. So cute. That was the end. Such a nice book, huh, guys? All right, we have 2 more books for you guys. I'm gonna make this fast. All right, this one is Baby Einstein, What Floats? I float beside my mommy as quiet as can be. Beside me floats a bubble. Now what else can I see? There's a froggy on a lily pad, a turtle on a log, a long-nosed alligator green, and floating, all floating in the bog. I look around the quiet lake. Who's paddling 2 by 2? A kitten and a puppy dog aboard a red canoe. So cute. All these things are floating, but basically I think shells and stones and rocks and sand don't float because they sink. It's curious how a ship floats by, as heavy as can be, while a petal drops with a little plop and sinks beneath the sea. The end. Such a cute book. That was Baby Einstein, What Floats? All right, one more book, guys. Another Baby Einstein, Mimi's Toes. This was another favorite. The water's warm in Mimi's bath when Mama puts her in. Pretty bubbles, soapy bubbles cover Mimi's chin. See Mama wash Mimi from her feet to her nose, then come back and tickle Mimi's toes. Mimi splashes making waves as Mama starts to scrub. Little puddles, lovely puddles, fall all around the tub. See Mama wash Mimi from her feet to her nose, then come back and tickle Mimi's toes. It's time to wash her tummy and her belly button too. Her elbows, fingers, hands, and nails. Now what does Mama do? See Mama wash Mimi from her feet to her nose, then come back and tickle Mimi's toes. I used to do this with my girls. It was cute. They loved it. Mama washes Mimi's ears, then the hair upon her head, And once her face is wiped and clean, Mimi's ready for her bed. Then out of the bath to a towel she goes after one last tickle of Mimi's toes. So cute. Ooh, I almost dropped the book twice. Mimi's tucked in safe and snug to count white fluffy sheep. She dreams of soapy bubbles bright that tickle her to sleep. Tickle her to sleep. I used to do that with my boys, or my babies. And now I do it to them. But anyways, guys, that was the end of story time. And I hope you all enjoyed story time. So please like this video and subscribe. And thank you for joining or watching our story time. There's all the babies. So I'll tell you again. Good night. Thanks for watching.